Hello, my primary friends. It's time for singing time with Sister Hayward again. Last week we sang a song about Jesus Christ's resurrection because it was Easter, and this is the Easter month, so we're going to keep on working on that song. I have some pictures that I printed out that go along with the words to this song of Easter Hosanna, and that again is on page 68. And I'll remind you of the melody. It goes like this. Alrighty, so I'm going to sing it to you and show you the pictures, and you can sing along with me if you want. The prophecies of long ago were now at last fulfilled, when Jesus risen from the dead to man himself revealed. As he came down from heaven above, white-robed and glorified, the people of the promised land received their Lord and cried, Hosanna, blessed be the name of the Most High God. Hosanna, blessed be the name of the Most High God. When Jesus Christ appeared to Nephites in the promised land, their righteous people saw his wounds and came to understand that he once dead was risen up as Savior, Lord, and King. As they rejoice, now we rejoice, and joyfully we sing. Hosanna, blessed be the name of the Most High God. Hosanna, blessed be the name of the Most High God. So the next song I'd like to sing with you is about birds in a nest. And if you were in nursery with me, you might remember this song. But before we sing it, I'd like to show you a collection of nests that I have. So I'm going to start with some bigger nests, and we'll go down to a super tiny nest. So let's begin. I have this nest here. And if I recall correctly, I think my friend Brenda gave this to me. She found it in her yard, and she knew that I liked bird nests, so she brought it to me one Sunday. This is a nest that is full of, looks like twigs, maybe a little bit of drier lint right there. And here's a bigger twig. So this birdie went around the yard and collected things that it found on the grass and in the trees and the shrubs, and made a cute little birdie house for its family. This one's kind of coming apart, so I have to be very careful with it. Then I have another nest that I found on the sidewalk one day when I was taking a walk. This one is very tightly woven. Inside, it's really soft. I can see some hair here. I don't know if that's human hair, kitty cat hair, or what, and this one, the sides of this nest are a little bit higher than the one previous to this. And I wonder what size and what kind of birdie made this nest. I don't know, but it had to be kind of tiny because it's pretty tiny inside of there. And it's really soft, like a nice soft pillow. The next nest that I have is even smaller than that. This one is super teeny tiny. And if you look right there, I can see some fuzzy stuff. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but this is even more tightly woven, and inside there's a lot more hair. It's even softer than the one before this. I'd like to curl up in there and take a nap myself. I can see why birdie eggs would be nice and comfy and warm if they had the mama birdie sitting on top of them in there. So that's another one that I found even smaller than that second one. But I have one that's even smaller than all of those. And it's one that my grandpa found in his yard. And this one is a hummingbird nest. And it was so tiny and so tightly woven to the branch that my grandpa, when he found it, he just clipped off the ends of the branch. And I gave it to my Grandma Mary. My Grandma Mary eventually, years later, gave it to me. And I'm so lucky because I get to look at it and think, how did those little hummingbirds make that big or that teeny, teeny, tiny little nest? And if I put my hand in there, oh, it's so soft. It doesn't look like there's any hairs or anything there, but there's something that they've pulled apart to make into a nice little soft bed. Now I had to glue it back onto the branch because I've showed this to a lot of little friends and it kind of was getting worn out. But I like to look at it and think of just how tiny those little eggs must be that those hummingbirds lay. And how incredible it is that they can build nests when they don't have hands. They just have beaks. How do they do it? I don't know. So if you compare my hand to this nest, then you can see how tiny it is. It's really little. I also have not a bird's nest, but I have a hornet's nest that I call him my fourth or fifth son, my friend Parker found for me. And that's a hornet's nest, and it's very, very delicate. If I touch it just a little bit, it starts to kind of come unraveled. This is not the kind of nest that you want to poke, but this nest, the hornets had moved out, and so I kept it because I like to look inside and figure out how the heck did they make that? Not that I love hornets. They're actually my nemesis, but interesting nests that they make. So I'm going to sing the nest song with you in just a minute. So let's sing the nest song. And this is on page 241 in the children's songbook, our favorite. And it's actually called Birds in the Tree. I always call it the nest song because that's how I think of it. So we start out, we're going to find a little nest. So let's make a nest with our hands. Can you do that? We will find a little nest in the branches of a tree. Let's be branches with our arms. In the branches of a tree, let us count the eggs inside. There are 1, 2, 3. Let's sing that again. That's the first verse. We're going to find the little nest in the branches of the tree. We're going to count the eggs inside. There are 1, 2, 3. Yes, it rhymes. Here we go. We will find a little nest in the branches of a tree. Let us count the eggs inside. There are 1, 2, 3. Now, if you have little ones, doing that 1, 2, 3, you might want to go extra slow on that part because, oops, my book just dropped, because that can be hard to figure out to do when you're new to the earth. Moving your hands like that, it takes a lot of concentration. There's a lot of coordination that goes with that. So that's the first verse. We find the nest, we count the eggs inside. Then the second verse, I'm going to pick up my book here, sorry. The second verse, we're going to say mother bird sits on the nest. We're going to make a bird with our fist. Mother bird sits on the nest to hatch the eggs. Oh, how many eggs do we have? 3. So let's do that again. Mother bird sits on the nest to hatch the eggs, all 3. Then we have father bird. What is he doing? What is he doing while all this is going on? He is doing something. He's not sitting on the couch watching football. He is. He's flying around and he's guarding his family. He's protecting them, making sure that no predators are going to come and take those eggs, because that's their family. He's got it. Okay, so we're going to sing, Father bird flies round and round to guard his family. Ha-ha. All right, so let's sing that second verse again. So we start out with Mother Bird. Just checking to make sure I'm singing the right words. It's been a while. Mother bird sits on the nest to hatch the eggs all three. Father bird flies round and round to guard his family. Shall we sing it from the top? I know some of you know this song and you're singing along with me, and that just makes me happy. Let's make our nest. We will find a little nest in the branches of a tree. Let us count the eggs inside. There are 1, 2, 3. Second verse. Mother bird sits on the nest to hatch the eggs all three. Father bird flies round and round to guard his family. Isn't that a fun song? So while you listen to the birds sing, you can maybe even sing this song and sing along with them. If you are really into birdies, I have been reading some books. These are for older kids. These are chapter books. They don't have many pictures. So if you are an older kid and you happen to be watching this, I've been reading My Side of the Mountain by Jean Craighead George. It's about this boy, there he is, this boy who goes and lives in the woods all by himself. He hollows out a tree and he lives in the tree. And he hunts and he forages for his food. And he ends up adopting this bird right here. And it's a falcon. And he trains the falcon and it helps him to hunt and everything. And it's a really good story. And I really enjoyed it. So it's for older kids, probably 10 years and up. Whoever can handle a chapter book, because it is mostly words. There's a few illustrations in there, but excellent, excellent book. This author, Jean Craighead George, she also wrote a second book, because I was wondering, well, why couldn't a girl go to the woods and survive and have a bird and all those cool things? And lo, in her second book, this little boy's sister comes and lives with him, and she's also hunting and gathering and foraging, and she's figuring out all sorts of things, making inventions and living in the woods and living in the land. And so that's a good story too. That's the second book. Now the third book is called Frightful's Mountain, and that Frightful is the name of his bird. And so this is all told by kind of from concentrating on the bird and falconry and breeding falcons and falcons in the wild and things like that. So, but my favorites are the first two. It starts with My Side of the Mountain and then goes to on the far side of the mountain. And the third one's pretty good too, but the first two are very interesting to understand what he does to survive in the woods, and he's pretty clever, and so is his sister. I don't think I could live in the woods because I like indoor plumbing. But so let's end by singing the first verse of I Am a Child of God. Are you ready, Freddies? Okay. I am a child of God, and He has sent me here, has given me an earthly home with parents kind and dear. Lead me, guide me, walk beside me, help me find the way. Teach me all that I must do to live with Him someday. I hope you enjoyed this primary singing time. Remember to watch the birdies. Remember about Jesus Christ and the resurrection and how we can sing Hosanna and bless his name. And remember most of all that you are a child of God and he loves you. And I love you too. See you next week.